Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, in this video, I'm going to be pushing forward a concept that works very effectively and quite possibly a new meta for this game going forward. So, let's get on into it. Now, let's start off with lab gameplay. So, I'm going to spawn in some Legion of Darknesses because Viessa is of course strong against them and we want to see what the max damage output is. Now, with this, with a Viessa setup, give or take, you will probably be running something kind of similar to this, or something along the lines of this, at least for Viessa's Absolute Zero setup. Now with this, same thing, we will be expecting similar damage results. However, your tree probably looks something like this. This is Viessa's optimal tree. Okay, so this is what we would be going with. Now if we pop Viessa's second ability and her fourth ability over here, this is pretty much what you would expect. A little bit of that, and let's keep an eye on the damage whilst we do this real quick. Let this play out, and there you go. Boom, with a burst we have about 118 million damage. Nothing to sneeze at, that's some very good and respectable damage. However, with the Arche tree, there's definitely more that can be done. Now, if we combine the armor stripping segments of the tree, you'll come up with a tree that looks like this. This ideally would work with crit Descendants better because you can pull enhanced crit rate. But if you're using it with a Descendant that does not need a crit build, then going 3 ways for the duration over here instead would work perfectly fine. But in the top corner, we'll be able to put the Catalyst mutant cell, and then in the other corner, defense neutralization. This does apply literally every tree, because all trees will have one or the other. If you don't have defense neutralization on the tree for your Descendant, then I don't think it will be very worth running just one on its own. Running these together is the actual strat. And you can see here, with this we would get essentially 50% defense strip and then 30% of whichever element. And this on top of that would technically be a 20% additional reduction. So overall you get 50% defense reduction and 50% catalyst or elemental reduction. I could be wrong, don't hit me with the math too hard, but overall this is technically the principle. Running defense neutralization along with a catalyst mutant cell is going to be kind of cracked. As well as this, you do technically get additional firearm damage, so it does make your weapon stronger, because of course, you know, you got to go up to the tree. This is slightly different on each character though, depending on what's going on. But you can see here, with the exact same setup, and I literally just changed the tree, we got 118 million damage in that one. Let's see what we're going to get in this one. With this run over here, basically the exact same thing. What we're going to get over here is, I'm going to hope to God that it's more damage, otherwise I'm going to look dumb. There you go, 132 million. When I ran this before, it was about 145, 150 million. But overall, you do get more damage. Now, this does not just apply to Viessa. There's a few other Descendants where I've tested this out on, being Freyna and Bunny and stuff like that as well. So, again, with Freyna, this is essentially what I would run. You know, fairly standard contagion build. And then for the tuning, I'm going to go with Toxic Chain Catalyst and Defense Neutralization. And because Freyna is a non-critting style of Descendant, then you can see here we've gone with the duration instead of the crit. So exact same principle, we're just going to run it back the exact same way I just did over there. In this instance, we're going to pop her 1, and then we're going to pop her 3. Let this run for its time being, and we'll see how much damage we get. And then we'll change it and run Cohesion as a second test, just to show you that, you know, Cohesion is still a solid option. But if you want to deal with the higher level content, for example, Axion, specifically with Freyna or something, this is definitely going to help you go forward significantly better. You can see here we got 35 million damage in total. And let's pull this out and slap in Toxic Cohesion. There you go. And now let's do that again. Literally the exact same thing. 35, 322 is the number to beat. Are we going to hit it? Let's find out. Even with the exact same setup, technically more damage on the setup as well, it still works very, very well with the other like option, for example like cohesion and stuff like that, but I just feel like overall the better option is the catalyst one. As you can see here, we got 31 million on this one. It is not like amazing damage distinguishment, especially inside lab, because there's only so much I can do inside of lab. However, I feel like if you're running this in an actual mission, for example Axion, you would definitely notice the difference, especially when it comes to melting with Frey and stuff like that. Now, I was going to say, when it comes to pushing this as a crit concept, this is a better idea to run the crit setup, especially with just most Descendants, because most Descendants are capable of forcing crit. If they have a fusion ability like Sharon or Bunny, use the Beetle with them as well. Just go full damage and stuff like that. And then even with Bunny, exact same concept. This is exactly how Bunny is capable of dealing with, you know, Purge Challenge 5, which is, you know, a very big step up. And this essentially changed Bunny from being a gun Descendant in Challenge 5 to a skill Descendant. Now, this is what I run on Bunny. This is just because of Purge. Don't worry about it. And yeah, okay, let's run this one with Bunny at least. With the AoE setup, sorry. So let's use this, and then let's change this over to this over here. So AoE crit setup, and for the tree, we'll be using this exact tree, and then let's run that. Okay, and this should be fairly easy. Run that. Bear in mind, this is still Legion of Darkness. We're not changing over to Order of Truth or anything. So damage is technically still all the same. We're just going to keep going until our AoE runs out. Okay, there you go. 107 million with the AoE setup. Just a quick reminder, this is what I'm running, so the very basic setup on Bunny. And then if we just change over to technically Bunny's best tree for damage, let's just change this by adding crit rate to it. There you go. Now technically Bunny's best tree for damage as well. 107 mil versus, where is it? Let's go for it. I'm expecting this to be less. If it's the same, then fair play to Bunny, I guess, but this should technically be a little bit less. About the same in this instance, slightly higher, about 1 million damage higher. But just in general, this concept does work well, and it's definitely something you should have a little mess around with. If you do have the cells lying around, or you do have defense neutralization and your respective element catalyst on your Descendant, definitely give it a shot over the tree you're running now. In lab, you most likely will notice the difference, and if you do this in Axion, you will definitely notice the difference. Highest level mobs in the game basically thrive off resistances, so if we rob them resistances from them, it's definitely going to be stronger. But anyways guys, that's basically just this quick video on the whole new concept of stripping being the priority on the tree and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on the first Descendant, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.